Morning, CK. How are you?
I'm good, Neville. I just want to share a conversation I had with a friend of mine who's a very successful entrepreneur. In the lockdown arena, I think everybody is working from home. So I'm fortunate I have a home office, but many of people like my friend here, which I'm going to discuss right now, they have shifted their office to their bedrooms. And yesterday during my conversation, it came out that they're having trouble sleeping. Uh, so something which is happening. I'm sure this is affecting him. He's a very senior person. It is must be affecting other people as well. Have you heard about this? Such a similar incident in London.
Well, interesting enough, it's probably more common now because people are working from home and they don't have a regimented space to work all day. So previously, most people, when I was traveling around the world, I would go to the bedroom and I'd have a little place where I would do a little bit of work in the evening, shut the PC down, forget it, stick it in the drawer, get up in the morning, go to work. But now people are making that a dedicated workspace. Now something goes on up here in our brain somewhere where what's the bedroom for? The obvious one, I know certain other things go on, but predominantly we go to sleep. But now you're spending 7, 8, 9 hours in your bedroom as a senior person doing your day job. So things do happen in here, and it might not happen overnight. It might take a little bit of time because your habits are now changing. And it could be that workspace is not leaving your brain when you go to sleep. It's this constant pressure that you've created because in the corner of the bedroom somewhere, your laptop's still up, your workspace is now a workspace, you haven't shoved it all away, you see a flashing light when you wake up, and there are things that go on up here all the time with us that mean that I'm working, I should be working. Now feeling guilty that you're not working. And we've heard this in the past, so that's why I'm relaying this in this short little message. We've assimilated things in here that are now not normal, but they're becoming our normal habit. And it's interfering with another habit, going to sleep. Watching the TV before you go to bed. Lots of people have TVs in their room. That could be actually one of the worst things you ever do, apparently, according to so-called, spin doctors that talk about, putting your house into some form of order, so compartmentalizing places. And you hear all of these people that do the feng shui will say, this is where this is, and this is where this is, and this is a kitchen space, use it as a kitchen, and then divorce that away from where you are. So there's a lot of science around this, whether you believe it or not, it's entirely up to you. But it is that thing about putting the workspace away. And a lot of people have a problem putting the job away because, like you and I, we're entrepreneurs. We work 24/7 in reality. So weekends sometimes are not weekends, but we manage our time so that we compartmentalize what we're doing. Sometimes we do it brilliantly, and sometimes we don't do it very well at all. So we're all guilty of getting it wrong. But if you don't start it, you're never going to get it right. But this is a good example, I think, of we're getting to know more about ourselves. And as we learn more about ourselves, we can actually work out what makes us tick. How do we work? Where are we more productive or less productive? So did that person, did you come to any conclusion with that person, or?
Well, I didn't have a ready solution to inform him, because when he was speaking with me, I realized that even I'm in that phase, even though I have a separate work area. But what happens is you work, and then most of us are working globally, so we are in different time zones. So your mind is always working, and you're expecting that email to come. So when you go to sleep, you carry your mobile phone, and then every 3 4 hours you wake up and say, hey, what has happened, any email that has come? So I think we are in I
Yeah.
cannot say about everybody, but I think I was in that state, so I didn't have a solution.
But it's common. It's common to so many people, and it is literally, you need to know when to switch off. I've never really been one for having 8 hours sleep, although all the evidence says you need 8 hours sleep. But frankly, I exist on about 4 to 5. But that's me. That's my metabolism. Is that shortening my life? I don't know. Frankly, I've got to 61 and hasn't seemed to have affected me yet. We're on 2 time zones here. All of my long working career in my professional arena, when I had a proper job, as I used to call it, and I was salaried, someone else paid, right, rather than me paying myself, I would be thinking about talking to Indonesia at 6 a.m, which was sort of midday their time, and then talking to New York at 5 p.m, because that's midday their time. So I was constantly working on this global time zone because that's what the job needed. But what that meant was, about midday my time, I could take a longer lunch, and just do a power nap or something, or get on with my day job, So you need to adapt. This phrase, adapt. But the point here is we're now under lockdown. We're forced to work at home. We're learning a lot more about ourselves. But hopefully that's getting people to think about learning more about the people that work for us, that work with us. What motivates them? Are they struggling with the things that we're struggling with? And the likelihood they are. We constantly get comments at the moment where you can't put your child out to school or childcare because all of those opportunities are shut down. They're under lockdown too. So now your home is your workplace, but actually it's a home for the kids. And they're also remotely schooled if they're of that age. And they're having to use certain areas of the house to access the digital resources that the school's providing. So there's lots of these pressures that are going on at home. And equally, very young families. I'm sure you've got employees that have got young families. So when I say young families, I'm talking about the 2 or 3 year old that you can't say homeschool, go onto the internet. I know some people, stick an iPad in front of a child and say play some games, but eventually that child's going to get bored. So it needs that contact with the parent. So let's just say you've got a 3-year-old and now you've got a man and wife. They need to split those duties because they've both got jobs. They're both working from home. They both did a 9 to 5 job. They can't both do the 9 to 5. Something's got to give and take. So they're having to deal with childcare, albeit it's their child. And now it's you as an employer need to understand that actually that person can't do a 9 to 5. And you need to understand who they are, what makes them tick. So what are the priorities that they have in their life? You're only paying for that person, but actually that person is now bringing all of their personality, their personal life into play. And frankly, you're going to have to deal with it because they want to be an employee. They don't want to be made redundant at the end of all this. They want to continue. I mean, have you got young people, young families that are in that particular position?
Yes, when you were speaking, I was relating with myself because my team is working from home, and I see parent coming with toddlers in their hand and all that. So I'm seeing that. But I think there's nothing much I can do as a boss. I have to be considerate because, of course, they are working from home. They don't have facility to leave their toddlers at the play school, so they have to manage themselves.
But you're getting now to recognise that they need to manage their time. I don't like talking about work-life balance, to be honest with you, because it's life. You know, work is just part of life. It shouldn't be your life, as we all know. For some people it is, but it's just part of life. So it's getting that balance right. And like anything else, as an employer, whether you like it or not, you're going to get to know and understand your employees a lot better. What makes them motivated?
You know, one point I'd like to make here, sorry to interrupt you, Neville, is that...
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think I can talk about myself. I'm, for the first time, getting exposed to my team's personal life because I see that on the screen all the time, which was not the case because they'll come to office and I don't care what they do at home, how they manage their life. But now their official life and their personal life is getting intertwined and is visible to me. And likewise for them also, because they are seeing my personal life. So my employees are also seeing my personal life. So I think there is a bit of a craziness which is going on right now.
It is craziness, but actually there's really nothing wrong with that. You know, as a business owner, we shouldn't be worried about that, your personality that isn't your office personality coming through, because you're a real person. And the interesting thing is, the closer people understand each other, the easier it is for us to get on. In the majority of cases, I mean, there are certain things that you want to keep private because it's your private life, and vice versa with them. But predominantly, your life is very publicly seen. You know, whether it's in the business arena or within your friends or your family. We're not an island. we do things. We don't do things very, very independently. We like to think we do, but the majority of things we don't. But from an employer's point of view, if you think of your employee as a person that you pay, they're a profit in the profit and loss, they're part of your cash flow, then now you're understanding they're more of an asset. So they've moved away from costing you money to becoming more on the balance sheet. They are really an asset to your organization. And to get the best out of them, for them, you need to know who they are. And I think this home working is opening a lot of employers up to seeing, as you say, you can now see the background of where people work, where they live. And if that background changes, you know that they're moving their workspace around the house. And then you can turn around to them and say, do you find that difficult? Are you finding that easy? So just by raising your awareness and being observant of what their background is, what's happening, all the noises that they're affected with, is going to make you a far better employee. You're going to become a coach in the true sense of the word, because you're not going to be breathing down their neck all the time. I mean, I know some people that have treated this as a great surveillance opportunity. So they've got a team of 15 and they've got 15 pictures on their screen all the time, so they can actually see who's gone for a coffee, who's gone for a comfort break. That really isn't the way we should be managing people. We should be trusting that here's the project, get on with it. You've got a problem, come and ask me. Then you get a really engaged employee. You trust them, they feel trusted. If they feel trusted, they'll feel wanted. If they feel wanted and their purpose of working with you fulfills their own purpose, you're going to get a very engaged employee. It's a very simple equation, and now working from home, that equation can really be brought to life. So just get to know people.
In fact, I like to share one incident where one of my employees said, hey, I will work for you for 8 hours because that is my commitment, but I will work morning 4 hours, then I'll have a break in between because I have to take care of my child. I have to take turns with my wife to take care of my child. And then I'll work the second 4 hours later in the day. So I think I needed to understand that issue, which I did. And I allowed people. So I'm sure a lot of people might be facing such issues as well.
Oh, I'm sure they are. As I say, when we're on lockdown, it might just be one child that you need to take care of. And there may be, you may have parents in the house that will say, not a problem, we'll take care of them. But not everyone's in that situation, especially today. I mean, we had the arena. I seem to recall that, I think it was a 1980s phrase, dinkies, double income, no kids.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And there's another phrase about paltry income, lots of kids. And so we are literally a double income family now. The nuclear, if you want to call it something, maybe the 21st century family has got two incomes coming in and has got a young family. We can't put those kids out. We can't pay for very expensive nannies to be in the household anymore. They've all gone home to their own arena to look after their families. So as an employer, you're not just buying the time of somebody, you're buying the person. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So do you know who your staff member is? You may know them as the most productive people. Oh yeah, I'd keep that person on. I need to do some work with that person. Okay. But now you're finding out more about their personal life. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to deal with it. So deal with it in a very professional, friendly way, because guess what? They're only dealing with things that you're dealing with as well. And this goes back to a routine. Understand their routine. They really want to do a good job. They would rather be in the office and get away from being at home. They are stuck at being at home. There is this syndrome of cabin fever. You're not the only person that's going through cabin fever. They're going through it too. So be the boss that helps them with cabin fever. And it will make you a far better person and a better boss. Because all of a sudden you're going to come out of this arena in a more productive arena. You're going to be able to take advantage, because if you treat them like human beings and understand that they've got difficulties, they will be innovative. They will come with, can we do it this way? I've done it this way forever. I've had a bit of time on my hands. And do you know what? I think we can do this better. Now's the time to listen. Now's the time to encourage that type of behaviour. There's never a better time. So get some good things out of a bad situation here. And of course, the other thing is all digital. So we're all learning new digital skills. But remember, some of the people that work for you are learning new digital skills too. Again, encourage it, you know. So I think the word today, we should be encourage. Understand what their arena is and encourage them, you know, because we're only in day 8. Don't believe there's just day 21 and then that's the end of the tunnel. If you look at the world, you know, day 21, there's day 22 that happens after. Most areas are talking about lockdown. The UK is talking about a longer period. Up to 6 months is now being discussed. You know, and for the mathematicians out there, right, 6 months is 180 days. I don't want to scare you, you know, and there will be relaxation, I'm sure, but we're in here for the long haul. So let's make most of it. And the message today is encourage you guys because they're important to you.
Yes, thank you, Neville, for giving us this great advice. So the key word that I picked up from your conversation today is 1, encouragement, and then improvisation.
Yeah.
So these are the 2 key words. I think all of us have to, I think we started the conversation with people not having enough sleep because they're working from their bedrooms. And then we landed up to this conclusion that we need to encourage our employees and improvise. So I think it opens up a new box, and we need to improvise to accommodate everyone to be successful as a company.
Yep. And we'll come out of this at the other end. And the main thing is come out of it in a really good shape. Come out of it stronger, you know, from adversity, come out with strength and power. And it's only those organisations that really will stand the test of time.
Great talking to you, Neville. We'll
And you.
catch up tomorrow again.
Catch up tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. And give us some feedback. Tell us what your problems are. We'll try and help you.